was a chance for the West Coast Eagles to move into the top 4 by beating a quality finals-bound team, one that is well and truly capable of competing for the Premiership Cup in 2016. But in the end, the boys were just outclassed on the day and returned home empty-handed from another interstate trip to Melbourne. Welcome to Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Masters, doing a bang-up job. Benny Roberts, you travelled with the team this week. There were parts of the game that reminded me of that round 2 Hawks clash where they were on top in the contested ball area, in the midfield, and then seemingly just hit every target to perfection and controlled that ball and spread so well from the stoppages.
Yeah, the Bulldogs love contested football. They're elite at contested football. They send a lot of numbers around the ball to give themselves some contested football. But what they were really good at yesterday, and have been all year, but yesterday especially, bang, 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 handball into space and used it well and scored from it. So at times, the boys couldn't put enough pressure on to stop that.
We really did control that first quarter, however. They had 18 inside 50s, probably didn't capitalise as much as we wanted, but the Bulldogs were probably guilty of that later in the game, as we'll touch on. What was the feeling like in the stands when that comeback started to generate and those 3 goals in 4 minutes were slammed on?
Yeah, I actually thought when Masto kicked that goal, I thought, geez, they're gonna steal this, and it would have genuinely been a steal, a pluck out of nowhere. But unfortunately, and then the ball went back in again, and thought JK had it and dropped it.
Oh yeah, that was tight.
35 hands going left, right, and centre. But no, disappointing to then for the ball to go up the other end and sort of seal it, I guess. But yeah, a little very hopeful for a 30-second period then.
A couple of moments where opportunities were certainly missed through a couple of shots on goal, and the fact the Bulldogs went basically coast to coast and capitalised on their end, you've really got to take those chances interstate, on the road. You've got to make the most of them. Certainly wasn't the ideal result for Josh Hill playing his 150th AFL game against his old mob as well. Would have loved a win, but deserves a bit of praise on the show.
Yeah, had a bit of the footy. I think he had 17 disposals, couple of goals. His pressure acts was strong again, which is what he's there for, and things that often people don't see. He's been a great pickup for the West Coast Eagles, complements the forward line really well, so congratulations on 150 games.
Thought it was the skipper's best game for season 2016. He imposed himself on just about every contest and he didn't really lose one of them throughout the day. His ball disposal efforts were either pinpointing targets or he was breaking lines, as he does every game.
He's so reliable, Bunger, so reliable. Like, whenever you look at him, he just goes for the footy. He doesn't worry about who's coming or who's where. He just jumps at the footy, goes for the. You love it. And had to step up, of course, with no Gov playing at all because he was a bit crook, and the boys had to reshuffle a few things. A bit like last year when they didn't have too many tall defenders going around, but they tried hard all day.
Good to see that his bump was thrown out by the match review panel. A bit of a rough head sandwich with Scotty Lycett. Probably one you don't want to be in the middle of.
No, I think he did well to stop and sort of limit as much of the damage. He knew it was coming. He just sort of stopped and braced for contact, as they say. So no case to answer.
Nick Natanui, broken snout coming off the field. That would have been a... Oh, did he do it, did he?
That was lucky, yeah.
Wow. So how was his flight home for 4 of the best?
They had to separate them. They didn't talk for the flight home, but I think they're okay now.
A few plays we just wanted to highlight that deserves a mention despite the result not going West Coast way. First of all, looking at Chris Marston here, absolutely outnumbered, 3 dogs around him, and the soccer pass here was really the only play he had in his back pocket. Ends up going Darling Cripps, lekker goal, and that really was just one of the most critical soccers I've seen in Eagles history in the recent time.
Yeah, lovely through ball from Chris Marston.
Triangle, massive. Speaking of just little touch-ons and so forth, what about this one from Sharon Wallingham? The Dogs well and truly out. This little tap back, a big momentum swing, and deserved a pat on the back. I thought that was pretty cool.
You know what I did like? I like Scotty Lycett. I like him this year. He's doing very well with Natanui in tandem. And how about these 2 efforts? Great big marks. It's good. And you know what that is? That is confidence for little Scotty. Little Scotty? That's for big Scotty to go out there and clunk his marks, which is good. Only to be upstaged by, and this is what I was thinking ahead a little, Scoey's big hanger on little Caleb Daniel. We actually checked the tape. He only actually jumped this high off the ground. The smallest specky you will ever see has been nominated for Mark of the Year, so vote if you want him to win.
Geez, I thought Mark Hutchings was going to have one of those I'd love to go in the change rooms and hide for the rest of the quarter moments that Eddie had when the ball went back just outside the goal square in the little bubble. Yeah. Oh, it was heart and mouth kind of stuff, but good for Hutch that he hung on to that one. But the player of the day for me was Tory Dixon, and his effort here, the composure, just the fake left, off fake again, and hit the target inside 50 for a goal for the Bulldogs. I was in awe of it, just clapping by myself.
Candy shop. He obviously heard us talking about Darling last week, going to the candy shop and, you know, self-proclaiming himself to be Willy Wonka and all the rest, and he's lifted it a cog. Yeah. So the ball's back in your court, Jack. This Saturday night, your chance to redeem yourself.
Let's get straight into the roast now. There's a fair few of them, so why don't we start with Luke House, appealing for the high free kick on the turf. He doesn't get it, feels a bit hard done by, so he goes on with it. Big time flop. Nothing doing there either, throwing those attempts out the window. What about the other one we've got? Bulldogs Williams getting done holding the ball by Yeo. That is one of the stiffest calls of all time. Lukey Beveridge wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah, red hot, and Yoey was probably a hint lucky to not get done himself. So
Missed the goal though.
One of those ones where you sort of scratch your head a little bit. What about Reddo? Now Reddo.
Love Reddo.
I love Reddo. He's a good man, but this, oh dear, that wasn't his finest effort.
He'd love it again, wouldn't he?
He's not the only one who's done it this year, so you're not alone, Jack, but he would have loved his time again there.
Let's go around the grounds now.
Can I start around the grounds?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. At the game yesterday, ground announcer, Western Bulldogs. Hi everyone, welcome to Etihad Stadium. Great to be back at home after 3 weeks away on the road. 2 of those 3 were at the MCG, away on the road. Try living in Perth, mate. Anyway, next.
We'll go on. Saw some masks out there in the crowd on the weekend, starting at the Dockers. Rey Mysterio had a berth at that game. I was interested to see him. A few Benny Brown masks down in Tassie, but this bloke didn't want to fork out the $6.50. He just decided to groom himself well ahead of time. Kudos to you, saving some cash.
Tasmanians. Shouldn't have said that. Brady Rawlings is a good friend of the review. Wet day at the MCG on Saturday. Humorous consequences. You love it when wet balls and wet grounds contribute to some humour. Jack Watts, 100 yards of space, couldn't kick him with the biggest drop punt. On his right foot, turns left, and I don't even think, do they even count that as a shot on goal?
They shouldn't. It was that bad.
No.
Anyway, Jeffy Garlett.
Jeffy.
Lost in the clouds, I think that ball was.
Yeah, not his finest effort. We say that a lot here, not his finest effort. That's why we're bringing it up here at the review. Yeah, I don't know what he was looking at there. Maybe he got lost. Oh, I don't know what he was thinking. Okay, he was obviously thinking not straight. What about Jesse Hogan, a good WA boy?
Yeah, good W. This was a very humorous moment if you were watching at home.
When you're running into open goal, did he even need to bounce?
Probably not.
Probably not. Lost at wet conditions, as we said earlier.
Yeah, good soccer.
Then great soccer, the great windy. And then Kent just comes in and says, I'll clean it up.
I got you back, mate.
Yeah,
I got you back.
Yeah, so, but what about Domain Stadium? Saturday night, I saw this one and thought of you, and I thought you might like this as well. Look at Edwards from Essendon streaming down the wing, looking $1 million. It reminded me of Tex Walker in the elimination final last year against the Dogs. Down the flank, looks inboard, beautiful, seething pass, straight to a dogger. The only bloke in the 50 and he hits him lace out. Not his best effort. Not his best effort.
No, that was a good call up to selection as well. Let's go for the winner now, and we're going to go all the way back to Etihad Stadium. This umpiring decision on our man, Sam Butler. Gee, that was stiff! And to result in the string of goals straight away, well, that was just sacks of salt all up in the wound. But that is just about it for here at the review. Big home game against the Crows, hoping to cement ourselves in that top echelon of the ladder. Ben Roberts, you've been okay. Masters.
I've been great.
I've been pretty good. Oh. Cheers. Do you want to be a part of WA's more awesome squad? Prove it. You can win 5 tickets for you and mates to come to a West Coast Eagles home game. Just snap a photo of you and your other squad members, #MastersSquad, and head to Masters Instagram or Facebook page to get the ultimate fan experience.